Hey, real estate rockstars, welcome back. Today I want to talk about how you can build a successful real estate team, specifically focusing on recruiting and training. Like oftentimes we have agents who start building teams. They're really great at sales, master sales, incredible salespeople, and then they go directly to hiring people. Problem is you're skipping a critical step in the process, and it's no wonder why we're bringing people in and they're not either being productive or they leave us. So today I'm going to share just a few simple techniques they can use to recruit at a high level and also retain at a high level. Hi, I'm Guillermo Salas, former attorney turned real estate agent. I've closed over 1,500 transactions in my career. And on this YouTube channel, I'm sharing every single system and process that I've created to run a massive real estate team, as well as other businesses, and create passive streams of income. But more importantly, in my video description, I have a link to my calendar because I understand these topics we're only covering a few minutes, but they require some deeper understanding. So I'm happy to share free of charge 30 minutes of my calendar time and go through some of these topics at a deeper level. So don't be shy. Go ahead and schedule today. All right, let's jump into it. First thing I want to talk about is you want to map out who's going to be on your bus, right? Who's going to be on your team from a 30,000 foot level. What do you act with the end in mind? What do you want your team to look like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? And I always broke up my real estate team into 5 different divisions, right? We had sales, those are the agents, marketing, we had the operations or customer care, that's all the back end stuff that makes us look like superstars, right? And then there's human resources, because we're recruiting, we're retaining, and finance. So you've got to map out all those divisions, and that's how it made sense in my brain, because those are the functions that I needed in any business, let alone a real estate team. But then you want to have clear job descriptions and clear responsibilities. Oftentimes I hear people bring people on and they don't know what the common response as I'm coaching, like, hey, I don't know what to do. I've got an assistant, I don't know what to do, and ask them to do. Am I getting my money's worth? Are they happy in their job? That's why you want to take the time up front to have clear job descriptions, responsibilities. And the cool thing is I've had pretty much every single person and job title within a real estate business contact me, and it's a swipe and deploy, I call, or R&D, rip off and duplicate. Happy to share that information. So that's one of the first simple techniques that you want to put in place. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about is how you attract people into your business, right? It's like everything else. Social media is a great way. For me, my favorite was SOI. And it's almost like when you go out prospecting for buyers and sellers, you sort of had to switch your head on like, hey, I'm not prospecting for my business. I'm looking for that person who meets my business needs. Which is why that part number 1 is so important. Being clear what the job description and responsibilities are, so that now you're going out, talk to everybody in every walk of your life. Like, hey, I'm looking for this person. This is the DNA of the person that I'm looking for. And it can come from anywhere. In fact, one of the best agents I ever had in my business came from a conversation I had with somebody who was trying to sell me a franchise. He knew somebody who was in a completely different industry of managing hotels. But I was very clear on what the DNA of that person was, and it absolutely fit for the role and need that I wanted. And that's the thing. You want to be prospecting, just like you time block for prospecting for buyers and sellers, you're going to time block for prospecting for people to bring into your world, into your team, onto your bus. Now, social media, running ads on Indeed, those are other methods. There is a method I used for a little bit. It wasn't really my favorite, but I'll share it here because it is absolutely successful and it works, right? We run ads, hey, guarantee if you join our team and you follow our processes, you can make $100,000, right? Now, the headline is guaranteed make $100,000 with my team. The fine print is, yeah, you got to prospect like this, you got to follow up like this, you got to do so many contacts like this. And that's all clear, right? Up front, and that's an open conversation. There's no hiding the ball, but the headline is make $100,000 with my team, and that'll get a good number of applicants into your pipeline, right? And so don't shy away from guarantees. They're when done with integrity and honesty, they absolutely work, and there's a place for them in our business. So that's part number 2 that I want to share with you. The third thing I want to talk about is the recruiting pipeline system, right? You want to use technology, you want to use leverage wherever you can in your business. This is just going to get you to the place you want quicker, and this also makes it much more scalable. So now I use this software called Breezy. Other people use Trello, and I know there's a bunch of other ones out there. But what I loved about Breezy is it had a lot of automation. Like my screening interview could be put in there automatically. In fact, I love that they had like a video section where they had to answer 1 or 2 questions. It got me this is like, hey, how how good are they in terms of articulating who they are, what they are, just like they need to articulate how they work with a buyer or a seller, right? And the value that they have for them. So that was a great part of the system. I could put personality assessments or things. I could put it in there, and if they didn't do them, then they'd tell me like, hey man, if they're not gonna do this, they're not gonna call all the leads that come online. So it was sort of like a test early on that was automated and then screened people out for it. The other thing I liked about these sort of systems that you can use is I had all our interview questions. We had 4 rounds, but all the interview questions in there had feedback, right? So as we had one person who did round 1, they filled it out and then they gave feedback to the next person who's gonna do round 2. And it was sort of just seamless. We were all working in the same direction, moving one person from stage 1 to stage 2 and so on. So that I love, because you want, if you're gonna recruit, the reality is it's a numbers game, right? And I found that for every 4 people I brought in, 1 stuck, generally speaking, right? So think about that as you're building your team out. You're gonna have to go through a bunch of people that maybe they may not necessarily pan out. And so you're gonna wanna use systems and tools to make that as efficient as possible. Cool? That's use technology to help you with leverage on that part. The 4th thing that I want to talk about is training, right? This is the part where I alluded to, like the part that's skipped a step. People get really good at sales and then they go hire people. It has to go first, master sales, second, master systems, and then master people, right? You're good at sales. You need to stop and slow down and figure out what made me so good at sales so that you can duplicate yourself and train the next person. That's why people come into a team that don't have any systems or training in place, and they're either not productive or they quit. So for instance, I would slow down. I call this slow down to speed up. If I was drawing up an agreement of sale, I would pause. I would share my screen. You can use Zoom, share my screen and show the agreement of sale as I'm filling in. That video, and I recorded that, and that video now became the system that for anybody who came into my business, how we draw up the agreement of sale here at the Salas team. And it is across the business, right? Both on the sales side, but also for your support staff, the operations side, like how to do a listing presentation, how to do a buyer consultation, how to post ads on Facebook, right? How to set up the open house. All these things, it's slow down, take out your computer, share your screen, record it. And then I took those recordings and I use Google, I use G Suite, and I put them in there. So I had a library of videos for every single thing I needed in my business. Remember, 5 divisions, right? Sales, marketing, operations, human resources, and finance. For all those things, I slowed down and made sure that I had a video to explain so that when Guillermo got out of the job, somebody came in and did it the same way that I did it, right? That's how you set somebody up for success. And then ultimately what I did was now I had all these videos in G Suite. I created hyperlinks. I created table of contents, and I put hyperlinks to the video, and that became the Salas team playbook. So whenever anybody joined our group, they got a playbook. So initially we printed it out, which we got away from that, but then it ultimately became digital. They had a playbook so that they knew they came in, if you're an agent, here are all the buyer tools, here are all the seller tools. This is how you work with investors. This is how you do showings, right? All that stuff was in there and they could review it. And the reality is people only pick up things 20%. When they're learning something new, they only pick up 20% the first time. So the great thing, the added benefit of the video is they get to review it over and over and over. And again, it's leverage. Rather than you presenting just once and then knowing that they're not going to retain it, or you got to keep on presenting it, now you've got a video library that allows you to scale up and bring in agents, train them the way you want your clients to be serviced. Make sense? Awesome. And the last part that I want to share is that this all takes time, especially the last section that I talked about, building the systems, right? Give yourself grace. For me, it took 2 years, blocking off Fridays. Sometimes it was the whole Friday, sometimes it was just the morning. And I had a coach who got me from point A to point Z, but give yourself grace. It's going to take time, depending on how you want to build your business. Sometimes you could do it sooner. Sometimes, it may take a little longer. But here's the thing. You don't want to start from scratch. People had lived before you. There's a lot of information out there. You should do what I call R&D, rip off and duplicate, or swipe and deploy. People have created systems for you, and you could just sort of like take, Guillermo's name off and put your name on for a variety of systems, your open house system, your showing agent system, whatever it is, how you run your finances, right? Profit First, another great book that I recommend everybody read, and run your finances like. So that's what I mean. Don't go out there and try and figure it out on your own. You've got people out there who will support you. I'm absolutely one of them. In fact, I mentioned it before, in my video description, I have a calendar link. I'm happy to share a lot, I've got a couple different options you can employ in order to get access to my business systems. So don't be shy. Go schedule a meeting today. 30 minutes is all it takes, and I'm happy to help you out. Until next time, go out there and cause and create miracles. Have a great day.